he punching the man, man. Look at this shit. They probably jumping over here.
As y'all can see, they're beating him up. For what reason, I don't know. They say he's resisting, but he's not resisting at all. They're gonna kill him. We got other officers coming down to beat up one man.
This been going on 5 minutes before you even start recording.
It's been going on for 5 minutes before I start recording. Just look. We have Captain Gas. We have more so-called professional DOC officers.
Look at the man, they punching the man.
They're near him.
They kill that goddamn man.
They're beating him.
Hey, man, we need to say something. Let them know we watching, bro. For they gonna kill this motherfucking man, man. Look at this shit. Look at he throwing. Look at this shit, man.
Sergeant Wilson.
We send this to the news, bro. We send this to our families and let them know.
They're steady beating him.
You see when they get on, look, he's still punching the
Steady
man,
beating him, man.
God damn.
This is the retaliation we get. Today is July the 8th.
He just said to beat the man to death. Now he get up like he hurt. Look at the still coming up down on the man, man. They gonna kill that goddamn man, man. Now look at this. They trying to hide Captain Gas. He done got fucked up. He done got sprayed trying to kill him, man. Send this shit to the news. It's
5:28 p.m.
Good morning, everyone. It's January 4th, 2020. America. This is the actions of heroes. These are the actions, rather, of heroes. Your heroes. America's heroes. Let me ask you something. If that were, just a random group of guys beating up, I don't know, a bum, a homeless man, would you be okay with it? Would you be okay with it? I would suspect that most people would not be. But somehow, some way, when it is a mafia government enforcer doing this, no better than the enforcers of, I don't know, the Gambinos and other mafia families. No better than their enforcers. Behave in the exact same manner as those Gambino crime family enforcers. But instead of it being a crime family, it's a crime government. So how is it okay for these what look like 9 people for a while, maybe even 10, down to what looks like 4 or 5 maybe, How is it these people are brave when they can't even face a person one-on-one? They have to gang up on them. How is this bravery? Tell me. How is it bravery to stomp on, kick, punch, maim a person who has their handcuffs or their hands cuffed behind their back? Tell me. I would like to know. Where is bravery in all this? Where's honor? And people keep thinking that this kind of shit can't happen to them. A lot of people think this. A lot of people think that because they drive the exact speed limit or follow the book to the T, that they're safe from this sort of abuse. But are you? Are you really safe? I can answer that very simply. No, you're not safe. Many of the people who call 911, well, people who called 911, a lot of them end up being victimized, the people calling for help, victimized by the responding officers. Sometimes women get raped. Sometimes people get shot in the back. Sometimes individuals get beat to death. And people don't believe this will happen to them until it happens to their daughter or their son or them. People don't believe that these so-called heroes behave in this way until they or someone they love are on the receiving end of a state-sanctioned beating, rape, or murder. State-sanctioned. Thought I would share this first one with you. This is on the Free Thought Project, and this is the guy that was beat like that. All right, and I'd like to point out to you that the individuals recording a white man being beat down to the point of him having a disfigured face were black men. They were black men sympathizing with a white man being abused by law enforcement. I'm just pointing that out. But this happened in Claremont, Florida. And it looked to me like these guys managed to get a cell phone into the cell block. That's what it looked like. And don't be surprised if there ends up being a situation where the officers involved in this battery retaliated against the individuals who leaked this video. But as for the YouTube video, officials still don't know how a cell phone was smuggled in nor do they know how it was put online. So, somebody in quotes said, "You can't just attack people like animals because this is what you want to do. This can be anybody or anybody's family member," said Grace. It brought tears to my eyes. All four of the officers in the video below pled not guilty. Not guilty. And there's some tweets here by some of these guys. And I'm not going to read them because this here is on the Free Thought Project. The article is called 4 Officers Arrested After Video Leaked of Them Beating Man So Badly His Face Was Disfigured. And it is from Matt Argus. See, all of the paradigms right now are being blown. They're being exposed for the falsehoods they are. The paradigm that only black men get treated like this in America. You know, it's not just black men. It's white men, white women, black men. It's everybody. We're all treated like an enemy. Now, there's a lot more to cover. Hashtag World War III now trending as Trump fulfills neocon wet dream of provoking war with Iran. And I'm sure every single one of you by now has heard what's been going on. So, late Thursday night, without any congressional authorization, President Donald Trump ordered and carried out the assassination of one of the most powerful people in Iran, knowingly setting off what could amount to a new world war. New world war. I'm going to adjust the smaller screen so I can read off it instead. All right. So, let me remind you that Donald Trump ran on a platform in part of not doing these sorts of things. And, you know, it could end up being that bad. It could. It could end up being the final nail in our coffin as a nation. And maybe as a civilization. But no one ever fully thinks the consequences through. Let's see here. And I'm not going to try to even pronounce this guy's name because I'll butcher it. But he was the leader of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and was killed in Iraq to protect U.S. personnel abroad, according to the Pentagon. In reality, however, this move just lured the United States and its citizens into perpetual danger and inevitable chaos and more debt. This morning when I went to get gas, my gas price was up 15 cents, by the way, just after this. The saber rattling began last week when the U.S. accused Iran of killing an American contractor. In quotes, Iran killed an American contractor, wounding many, Trump tweeted. And when they say American contractor, what they really mean is mercenary. In quotes again, we strongly responded and always will. Now, Iran is orchestrating an attack on the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. They will be held fully responsible. In addition, we expect Iraq to use its forces to protect the embassy, and so notified. Yeah. And you may want to be extra careful when you're criticizing your beloved law enforcers and your beloved congressmen and your beloved senators and your beloved president, not to mention our beloved bankers, because you could very well end up being rounded up and caged and treated like an animal. Like an animal. I mean, you don't even have to go to jail to be treated like an animal. You already are. You are already a tax cattle, a tax cow. And every way they can, they're going to squeeze every fucking dime out of you. Every way possible. Following this assassination, Iran's National Security Council called an emergency meeting in which they vowed, in quotes, vigorous revenge against America. For his death, Iranian Foreign Minister, again, Zarif, decried the attack, saying it was a foolish escalation. And keep in mind, they've been trying to find a good reason to get in there to the area, Syria, Iran. They've been trying to overthrow Assad. Now they're trying to overthrow Iran again. But this is your president that again promised during his campaign to pull our troops out of these places, and instead he's sending more. This at a time where we have a lot of United Nations activity. This at a time where our streets in America and the major cities may erupt at any time into riots. But I digress. And if you don't think our government wouldn't round us up and intern us, well, it happened 100 years ago. Then again, and during World War II. And it's probably been going on ever since. And there's just places we don't know about. But 100 years ago, 4,000 Americans in a single night were rounded up and caged for disagreeing with the president. And this too comes from Matt Argus. I'm not going to hit every word of this, but we will do the first couple, maybe few paragraphs. And we're going to tie this together here in the next one. 100 years ago, on January 3rd, 1920, Americans woke up to discover just how little their own government regarded their cherished Bill of Rights. During the night, some 4,000 of their fellow citizens were rounded up and jailed for what amounted to, in most cases, no good reason, with no due process either. Welcome to the story of the Palmer Raids, named for their investigator, Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer. Though largely forgotten today, it shouldn't be. It constituted a horrific, shameful episode in American history, one of the lowest moments for liberty since King George III quartered troops in private homes. The terror during the night of January 2nd and 3rd, 1920, shocked and frightened many citizens. In her book, in her 1971 book, America's Reign of Terror, World War I, The Red State, and the Palmer Raids, Roberta Strauss, we're going to leave it at Roberta Strauss, because I'm not going to even try to pronounce that last name. Okay? Terror is not just a body count. Terror exists when a person can be sentenced to years in prison for an idle remark, when people are pulled out of their beds and arrested, when 4,000 persons are seized in a single night, and when arrests and searches are made without warrants. Moreover, for each person sent to prison for his views, many citizens were silenced. The author amply documents the government's insensitivity to civil liberties during this period, its frequent brutality and callousness, and the personal grief that ensued. So, make no mistake about it, a president absolutely can, and this president may, have people rounded up. Which president it's going to be? Eventually, it's going to be one of them. Why not Donald Trump? Perhaps that was the intention all along. Perhaps it was the intention of the ruling class to select Donald Trump so that people are so occupied with the media and the news regarding his latest scandal that in the background, while all this was going on, they were busy collapsing our economy and putting assets into place. I got one more paragraph for you here, and we'll move on to the next one, which is, you'll see why I did it in this order. The targets of the Palmer raids were radicals and leftists deemed by the Wilson administration to be hostile to American values. And how many times a day on mainstream media do you hear the term, "That's un-American"? And it's said by both sides. Just saying. Ironically, none of those arrested had done anywhere near as much harm to those values as the man living in the White House, Woodrow Wilson, arguably the worst of the country's 45 presidents. This article is at the Free Thought Project. Now, for the finale. What upstanding citizens believe versus what crazy conspiracy theorists believe. This one is from Caitlin Johnstone. All right. You know, it would be really nice if I could sit here and smoke a J while I'm doing these videos, but I can't. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe a mature worldview requires skepticism toward power. Smart, outstanding citizens believe the government is your friend and the media are its helpers. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe that powerful people sometimes make immoral plans in secret. Smart, upstanding citizens believe the TV always tells the truth and the CIA exists for no reason. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe that extreme government secrecy makes it necessary to discuss possible theories about what may be going on behind the veil of secrecy. Smart, upstanding citizens believe that just because a world-dominating government with the most powerful military in history of civilization has no transparency and zero accountability to the public, that doesn't mean you've got to get all paranoid about it. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe it's okay to ask questions about important events that happen in the world, even if their government tells them they shouldn't. Smart, upstanding citizens believe everything they need to know about reality comes out of Mike Pompeo's angelic mouth. Angelic. Wait. Let's not forget Donald Trump's angelic mouth and Barack Obama's angelic mouth and Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. They're fucking angels. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe that the very rich sometimes engage in nefarious behavior to expand their wealth and power. Smart, upstanding citizens believe billionaires always conduct themselves with the same values that got them their billions in the first place: honesty, morality, and generosity. Even though most of their wealth was at minimum rigged, if not outrightly stolen. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe it's important to remember the lies that led up to the invasion of Iraq and the disastrous consequences of blind faith in government claims. Smart, upstanding citizens believe Iraq is a fictional land similar to Wakanda or Middle Earth from the writings of a fantasy author. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe Syria is fighting to avoid becoming another Libya in a war of defense against extremist proxy armies of the U.S. centralized empire, who were given billions of dollars in military support with the goal of toppling Damascus. Smart, upstanding citizens believe that Bashar al-Assad is a real-life version of a cartoon supervillain who just started murdering civilians willy-nilly in 2011 because he loves murdering civilians. Unlike our country, where we're treated with such vigorous respect and kindness by our enforcers and lawmakers. Then, in 2015, his friend Vladimir Putin joined in because he loves murdering civilians as well. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe the extensive history of U.S. government lies means you should always demand mountains of independently verified evidence when they make claims about unabsorbed nations. Smart, upstanding citizens believe Russia literally committed an act of war on the United States in 2016. China is orchestrating a second Holocaust. Maduro is deliberately starving the Venezuelan people because he hates them. Assad is using chemical weapons, but only when it makes no strategic sense. Cuban spy crickets are trying to assassinate U.S. diplomats. There's Novichok everywhere, and every non-compliant party in the Middle East is secretly working for Iran. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe that it could be difficult to figure out what's going on in a mass media landscape that is saturated with propaganda of the U.S. centralized empire. Smart, upstanding citizens believe that all you need to do to ensure you're getting all of the facts is to watch television and run screaming from the room if you accidentally flip past RT. Which RT, they seem to have their own bias. It seems to me that they will not criticize the Chinese. They won't. They won't criticize Russia either. Not nearly to the extent that they do our nation, which is well deserved. Don't get me wrong, but the Chinese government is a tyrannical, evil government, and that should be highlighted as often as possible by as many people as possible. Same with Russia. Well, let's be honest. The same with probably all of the governments. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe the Gulf of Tonkin incident was faked. The taking babies out of incubators narrative was a lie. Saddam had no weapons of mass destruction. Gaddafi's rape armies never existed, and the Libya intervention was never really about humanitarian concerns. Smart, upstanding citizens believe it's better not to think about such things. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe the latest WikiLeaks publications of internal OPCW documents provide ample evidence that we were lied to about the 2018 Duma incident. Smart, upstanding citizens believe those documents aren't real because the New York Times never reported on them. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe that increasing levels of government secrecy are making it, or is making it, easier for government agencies to do unethical things in secret. Smart, upstanding citizens believe that questioning your government makes you a Russian anti-Semite. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe that the billionaire class which owns the mass media has a natural incentive to prop up the status quo upon which it is built, and so construct an environment where reporters are incentivized to always support the establishment narrative. Smart, upstanding citizens believe that if that kind of conspiracy were really happening, it would have been in the news. And let's add one more to this. Crazy, stupid conspiracy theorists believe that every person that is gunned down needlessly on the streets of America by America's enforcement class isn't necessary. The smart, upstanding citizens believe that all of these people must have deserved it. Anyway, I thought I would share this with you. Again, this is from Caitlin Johnstone, originally published at Activist Post, but I'm reading from it on shtfplan.com. Before I leave, please do thumbs up, maybe share, subscribe. If I'm worthy, drop $1 in that bucket, my fucking blind guy ringing the bell bucket on PayPal. And I got a joke for you. Got a joke. A bear and a rabbit are shitting in the woods. The bear turns to the rabbit and says, "Hey, you got shit stuck on your fur?" The rabbit says, "No." So the bear picks up the rabbit and uses him to wipe his ass. Huh? One more thing. One more funny thing. I know this Mexican couple who's been here on a work visa for a long ass time. So the husband, who speaks no English, he's been wearing a hat that says "Build the Wall" unknowingly. He didn't know that it said "Build the Wall," and he's been wearing this hat. That is irony. Till next time, kill the state. Live free.